Well, for the first time since the 2019 season, the Falmouth Commodores are officially playoff bound. Carter Bainbridge along with Logan Sonforenko here on Closing the Door. We'll hear from Trey Redfield a bit later. But the Dores, with a 6-4 win over the Yarmouth-Dennis Red Sox, clinched the fourth and final playoff spot in the Western Division today. So the Wareham Gatemen will be spending the playoffs at home, but the Dores, after a rough start, are making their way there. And Logan, they had a solid start from Jerron Watts-Brown, partly to thank for the effort tonight.
Yeah, and not only just that, it's also he's been having consecutive great starts. The third straight outing where he went 5 innings and was qualified for a decision. But then you tag along with the 3 runs he got in the bottom of the first inning. It was technically a 2-run single off the bat of Drew Brutcher, but it really scored 3. One came in on an error by Homer Bush Jr. out in center field. But Jerron Watts-Brown, fantastic. He's been the Saturday starter for a reason, except last week because the All-Star game was on Saturday where he pitched on a Friday. But love the kid from Long Beach State.
And the Dores supported Watts-Brown today with some better offense. It seemed like ever since that loss to the Harwich Mariners here just a couple days ago, Falmouth was staggering a little bit on the offensive end. But after consecutive 1-run games against the Chatham Anglers, Logan, the Dores picked it up today at home to the tune of 6 runs.
Yeah, exactly. The 3 runs were early, but we also saw Alex Mooney get back into the home run column. Haven't seen one here at the Gov in quite a little bit, but he had that inside the park home run at Dore Park last week. But then Colby Halter drove in one. We saw a couple of nice bunts, one specifically from Anthony McKenzie that was a thing of beauty that just sat on the third base grass, and probably the best bunt we've seen all year. He did one. Luke Boyers had one the other night, but good to see some runs. You mentioned it. The past 2 games in offense combined, the Falmouth Commodores put up 1 run. So the Doors back into the win column. They still have 3 games left. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens on Monday when the Falmouth Commodores travel to Spillane Field to take on the Wareham Gatemen, and who's going to go in that game, and perhaps the rest of the 3 games, who goes in.
So the Dores with only 3 games remaining on this season, and they're all against Western Division opponents. So you mentioned Dore Park just a minute ago. The Dores are actually back in action tomorrow against the Bourne Braves. Then it's Wareham, and the regular season ends with the Cotuit Kettleers here at Gov Fuller Field. But those 3 games, a little bit more inconsequential than they were coming into tonight, because the Dores, again, have a spot in the 2022 Cape Cod Baseball League playoffs. But before we finish up Closing the Door, Carter Bainbridge with Logan Sonforenko here. But Trey Redfield, the 3rd member of our broadcast team, has more with today's starting pitcher, Jerron Watts-Brown.
Carter, Logan, thanks so much. I'm with Jerron Watts-Brown, who went 5 innings pitched, giving up just 1 earned run and striking out 7 en route to a Commodore win. Your 3rd win on the season, and you guys are in the playoffs. How's it feel?
It feels great, especially to come out here and not have to just wait till the last game to get a win. And we got it tonight, so now we're good and getting ready for playoffs now.
Last time you were out on the mound, you got a win against the Bourne Braves. Tonight you get another win. What's been working for you recently?
Filling up the zone. I think that just getting ahead of each batter and being able to use all 4 of my pitches has allowed me to go deeper in games. And then obviously the offense has been there the last 3 games. We've been putting up good runs, and then the defense has been great behind me.
How important is it that you're getting the run support from your team offensively?
It's huge because, I mean, especially here, anybody can score, anybody can hit a home run at some point. So it's huge, especially in the early innings, to get an early lead and kind of pitch on a lead. So.
And now you have Alex Mooney with you. It was Host Family Appreciation Night, and he covers my mouth as well. Alex is always a goon. What's it like living with this guy, and how much does it mean to you to have a great host family that was being honored tonight?
Yeah, I have the best spot on the Cape, I think. Mooney's a great guy to live with. He keeps me on edge. He's a good guy. And then Linda, Goat Linda, we call her Goat Linda. She couldn't be here tonight, but it's awesome. It's awesome living with him and being at Linda's house.
You mentioned your strike one mentality before your start in Orleans way back in the year at a point where we didn't know that this team was capable of making it to the playoffs. Now you've done it. You mentioned the strike one mentality. How important is that mentality, and why has it been working for you this season?
It helps because when you fall behind 2-0 to a guy or you can't get ahead, that's when you're in trouble. That's when you have to make great pitches and against good hitters. So getting ahead 0-1, it just makes it all much easier to try to get a guy out.
How important is it to keep it going, knowing you guys are already in the playoffs, more likely than not going to be in that 4 spot? But how important is it to keep the good times rolling into the postseason with 3 regular season games left?
We can't let off the gas right now. We still got 3 games, and I think if we win these next 3 games, that's great momentum going into the first playoff series. So I think we need to stay on it for sure.
Jerron, thanks so much for taking the time. That's Jerron Watts-Brown, 5 innings pitched, giving up 1 earned run and striking out 7 en route to a victory over the Yarmouth-Dennis Red Sox by a score of 6-4. The Commodores back in the postseason for the first time since 2019. Falmouth is back at it tomorrow at Dore Park, taking on the Bourne Braves. First pitch is set for 6 o'clock. With Jerron Watts-Brown, I'm Trey Redfield signing off from the Gov. We'll see you